नवंबर 2023 करंट अफेयर। ओके, क्लाउड सीडिंग हमने लास्ट टाइम पढ़ा था। यूनाइटेड नेशन फोरम ऑन फॉरेस्ट पढ़ रहे हैं हम लोग। इंडिया होस्टेड अ कंट्री लेड इनिशिएटिव CLI, दैट इज कंट्री लेड इनिशिएटिव किसने होस्ट किया था? पार्ट ऑफ द यूनाइटेड नेशन फोरम ऑन फॉरेस्ट इन देहरादून, उत्तराखंड। मोर अबाउट यूनाइटेड नेशन फोरम ऑन फॉरेस्ट. It was established in 2000 by the resolution of the Economic and the Social Council of the United Nations. United Nations Forum on Forest, it promotes the management, conservation, sustainable development of all type of forest. India holds the distinction of being a founding member of the United Nations Forum of Forest. India holds the distinction of being a founding member. Okay, country-led initiative. The primary goal is to contribute to a discussion of United Nations Forum on Forest regarding the implementation of a sustainable forest management and the United Nations Strategic Plan for Forest. United Nations Strategic Plan for Forest. It also aims to facilitate the sharing, discussion, implementation, as well as sharing of the best practice among the United Nations Forum on Forest as the member state for the implementation of the strategic plan on forest, sustainable forest management, and the United Nations strategic plan for forest. India led CLI focused on one of the theme of forest certification and sustainable forest management. Forest certification is a market mechanism to promote the sustainable use as well as the management of the forest, as well as to identify the sustainably produced product for the customer. Some countries consider forest certification as an effective means to ensure sustainable forest management and a tool. Effective means as well as a tool for preventing forest degradation or the deforestation. ये voluntary process है whereby an independent third party, the certifier, assesses the quality of the forest management and protection against a set of requirements that is standard that are predetermined by the public or the private certification organization. Basically, United Nations adopted the first ever United Nations strategic plan of forest for the period of 2017 to 2030, which serves as a global framework for actions at all levels to achieve the sustainable management of all types of forest. It consists of 6 global forest goals and 26 associated targets to be achieved by 2030, which are voluntary as well as universal. Basically, there are two types of forest certification. Certification of forest management, which assesses whether the forests are being managed according to a specified set of standard or not. Next is certification of the chain of custody certification, which verifies that a certified material is identified or kept separate from a non-certified or a non-controlled material. Total forest area under certification has increased by 35% or 120 million hectares since 2010. Okay, so total forest area under certification has increased by 35% or 120 million hectare. Developing countries continue to face several challenges as excessive cost of certification. Certification की cost ज़्यादा है तो भाई developing countries कहाँ कर पाएगी? As well as the audit and the compliance issue, inaccessibility to forest owners in remote region, and the lack of capacity due to the complexity of various certification standard. Lack of capacity. What are the benefits of certified sustainable forest? Environmental aspect. Existing local biodiversity is maintained and enhanced. Ecologically important forest areas are protected. Existing local biodiversity, it is maintained as well as enhanced. Local biodiversity maintained, enhanced. Ecologically important forest areas are protected. No use of hazardous chemical or the genetically modified organism. Climate positive practice. हमें कैसे practice करनी चाहिए? Climate positive, such as reduction of GHG emission are applied. Social impact consultation are carried out with the population body in the forest. Property and the land tenure right are respected. Proper respect for the health and the well-being of the forest communities is granted. Human and the workers' right compliant and with ILO recommendations are respected. Sustainable forest management definition. According to Food and Agriculture Organization, sustainable forest management is the stewardship and the use of forest as well as the forest land in a way and at a rate that maintains their biodiversity, productivity, regeneration capacity, vitality, and maintain their potential to fulfill now and in the future relevant ecological, economic, and social function at a local, national, and the global level. Does not cause damage to other ecosystem. सस्टेनेबल फॉरेस्ट मैनेजमेंट की बहुत ही अच्छी डेफिनेशन दी गई है बाय FAO. So basically it use the forest and forest land in a way that maintain their biodiversity, productivity, regeneration capacity, vitality, maintain their potential to fulfill now as well as in the future their economic, ecological and social function at a local, national and global level and does not cause damage to the other ecosystem. It implies various degrees of human intervention ranging from administrative, legal, technical, economic, social, environmental action aimed at safeguarding as well as maintaining the forest ecosystem. 7 elements of the sustainable forest management extend to forest resources, biological diversity, forest key health and vitality, productive function of forest resources, protective function of forest resources, social as well as economic function, legal policy and institutional framework. Sustainably managed forests provide important ecosystem service such as the carbon अगर sustainably manage करोगे तो carbon sequestration, biodiversity, conservation and protection of water resource. अगर सस्टेनेबली मैनेज फॉरेस्ट है, इट प्रोवाइड इंपॉर्टेंट इकोसिस्टम सर्विस सच एज कार्बन सीक्वेस्ट्रेशन, biodiversity conservation, protection of water resources. Need for sustainable forest management. Biodiversity conservation by maintaining the ecosystem, protecting the endangered species. Biodiversity conservation by maintaining ecosystem. नीड फॉर सस्टेनेबल फॉरेस्ट मैनेजमेंट क्यों है? बायोडाइवर्सिटी को कंजर्व करेंगे, बिकॉज आप कैसे कर पाओगे अगर इकोसिस्टम को मेंटेन रखोगे, एंडेंजर्ड स्पीसीज को प्रोटेक्ट करोगे, अलाउइंग फॉर द नेचुरल रीजनरेशन, मेंटेनिंग इकोसिस्टम, protecting endangered species and allowing for natural regeneration, tackling climate change. Forest act as a carbon sequestration. ठीक है, so playing a crucial role in mitigating the climate change, and SFM is essential to minimize the impact of the climate change. Community development, forests are the lifeline of millions of the people in India, especially the tribal communities, and the forest conservation cannot be isolated from the well-being of the communities that rely on the forest resource. Forest fire management. In recent years, the world has witnessed an alarming increase in the scale and the duration of the wildfire. Approximately 100 million hectares, that is equivalent to 3% of the world's forest area, is affected by fires every year, and 62% of the India's state they are prone to high-intensity forest fire. Traditional knowledge forest is a repository of medicinal plant and traditional knowledge repository. Okay, measures taken by the India for sustainable forest management legislative framework. India has enacted various conservation-oriented legislation such as the Forest Conservation of 1920, Indian Forest Act of 1927, and Wildlife Protection Act of 1975. For instance, the Forest Conservation Act of 1927 allowed the government to declare the specific areas that deserve protected, restricting the degrading activity. Joint forest management involves the collaboration between the forest activity and local communities for the protection as well as the management of the forest. Afforestation and reforestation program. India, initiative like the National Afforestation Program, Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management Planning Authority, Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management and Planning Authority, Green Highway Program. Technology adoption. Use of technology, use of geographic information system, mapping, satellite imagery, and remote sensing assists in the monitoring as well as the managing of the forest resource. Development of standard. Through Bhopal India process, India developed its national set of 8 criteria and 37 indicators for the sustainable management of its natural forest. Community forest rights. The Forest Act of 2006 recognizes and vests the forest right in forest dwelling communities, thus harnessing the knowledge and the capability of indigenous people. Forest Act of 2006, it recognizes and vests the forest right in forest dwelling communities, thus harnessing their knowledge and their capability in sustainable forest management. Standard. Through Bhopal India process, India developed a national set of 8 criteria, 37 indicators for sustainable management of natural forest. Way forward, India proposed to launch the Gandhinagar Implementation Roadmap and Gandhinagar Information Platform. Gandhinagar Implementation Roadmap, Gandhinagar Information Platform that emanated from the G20 deliberation to tackle the restoration of the forest fires and mining degraded लैंड. हमें फॉरेस्ट फायर से जो डिग्रेडेशन हुआ है उसको रिस्टोर करना है और माइन डिग्रेडेड लैंड को भी रिस्टोर करना है. गांधीनगर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन रोड, गांधीनगर इन्फॉर्मेशन platform. Setting up the global benchmark standard for forest certification, then their conservation practice and the forest fire management. International global benchmark standard, integrated fire management strategy, a very concerted approach to the prevention, management and restoration of the forest fire and the policy intervention. Promoting the use of the global fire management hub for sharing of the best practices. A very concerted approach to the prevention, management, restoration of the forest fire. Concerted approach, prevent, manage, restore forest fires and the pollen chain management. Promoting the use of the global fire management hub for sharing of the best practice. Global fire management hub for sharing of the best practice. Integrated fire management, a very concerted approach to the prevention, management and restoration of the forest fire. Prevent karo, manage karo, restore karo forest fire and policy intervention. Promoting the use of global fire management hub for sharing of the best practice. Community development, livelihood improvement program and incorporating incentive schemes while livelihood improvement program incorporating incentive schemes while formulating forest management policy. Cooperation, promote regional and international cooperation coordination among the government to address the subnational and the transboundary forest fire issue. Regional international cooperation coordination among the government to address the subnational and the transboundary forest fire issue. Climate change and children. Recently, the United Nations Children Fund (UNICEF) released 2 reports titled "Children Displaced in a Changing Climate" and "The Climate Change Child." Recently, the United Nations Children Fund (UNICEF), United Nations Children Fund, they released 2 reports: "Children Displaced in a Changing Climate, Climate Change Child: A Children's Climate Risk Index Supplement." किसने लिखी है? यूनिसेफ ने. "Children Displaced in a Changing Climate, Climate Change Child: A Children's Climate Risk Index supplement. The report establishes the criteria connection between the climate, the mobility, and the childhood. As per the report, millions of the children are being driven from their homes by the weather related event exacerbated by the climate change. While the link between the climate change and the displacement is complex, it is clearer that it is clearer than ever that the climate is shifting the patterns of displacement. Key findings of the report: 3 countries dominate the result rate in absolute number, that is Philippines, India, and China, with a combined total of almost 23 million child displacement due to the weather related event in 2016 and 2021. 23 million. Philippines, India, China. The supplement index report examines two components: water scarcity, the physical availability of water availability, the combination of the water scarcity and lack of access to देखो एक स्कार्सिटी है तो इसमें वाटर की फिजिकल अवेलेबिलिटी नहीं है, एंड वाटर अवेलेबिलिटी की स्कार्सिटी भी है और ड्रिंकिंग वाटर की एक्सेस भी नहीं है. ठीक है, तो एस्टिमेटेड नंबर ऑफ डिस्प्लेसमेंट मतलब 1000 टाइप रिपीटिंग दो. सबसे ज़्यादा जो है स्टॉर्म्स की वजह से, देन फ्लड. ठीक है, सबसे ज़्यादा स्टॉर्म, देन फ्लड, देन ड्राउट एंड वाइल्ड फायर. So key implements of the supplementing: almost 1 billion children are exposed to high or extremely high water stress areas. India, Niger, and Eritrea, Yemen, Burkina Faso are among the top 5 countries which have the highest overall child exposure to high or extreme high water vulnerability. जो वाटर vulnerability है उसमें सबसे ज़्यादा इंडिया, नाइजर, एरिट्रिया, यमन और वो बर्किनो फासो. Okay, affected by the climate vulnerability due to climate change. Physical capability: because of their small surface to body ratio, इन्फेंट्स एंड चिल्ड्रन आर पर्टिकुलरली वनरेबल टू द डिहाइड्रेशन एंड हीट स्ट्रेस, क्योंकि उनका सर्फेस टू बॉडी रेशियो बहुत कम होता है, तो डिहाइड्रेशन और हीट स्ट्रेस बहुत ज़्यादा. यूनिसेफ रिपोर्ट प्रेडिक्ट दैट बाय 2050 नियरली 2.2 बिलियन चिल्ड्रन दैट इज बिलो 18 प्लस वर्ल्ड वाइड विल बी एट रिस्क ऑफ फ्रीक्वेंट हीट वेव. इफेक्ट क्या है क्लाइमेट चेंज ऑन चिल्ड्रन डिसीज? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मोर देन 1,000 चिल्ड्रन अंडर द एज ऑफ 5 die each day from diseases arise from the lack of water, sanitation and hygiene. Water, sanitation and hygiene. Diet and nutrition. Climate change are associated with failed crop, increased food prices, leading to reduced diet diversity in children. Education, for example, in Ethiopia, for example, around 20% of girls and 5% of boys miss time in school to fetch water in normal circumstances. Mental health, ये Ethiopia की बताई. Extreme heat is associated with an increase in the mental health problem, including a post-traumatic stress disorder, depression in children and adolescents. For example, in Bangladesh, the number of the marriages of the girl age 11 to 14, ठीक है, 11 से 14 साल के बीच में जो लड़कियां हैं उनकी शादी बांग्लादेश में 50% से बढ़ गई इन एरिया विद हीट वेव लूजिंग लॉन्गर देन 30 डेज. Economic and social inequality. Children in poverty are more vulnerable to environmental shock and the stress. As per the children in poverty are more vulnerable to environmental shock and the stress. As per the Oxfam India report on inequality in India, the bottom 50% of the population possess only 3% of the wealth. So Oxfam India report की important है, जो bottom 50% of the population है उसमें सिर्फ 3% of the wealth है. Oxfam India 50% population, 3% of wealth. Lack of access to key essential services such as water, sanitation, hygiene, health, education, social protection increase their vulnerability. अब क्या है, लैक ऑफ एक्सेस टू की, हमें वाटर चाहिए, सैनिटेशन चाहिए, हाइजीन, हेल्थ, एजुकेशन, सोलर प्रोटेक्शन, दे इंक्रीज एबिलिटी. एज पर द रिपोर्ट अराउंड 1.4 million lives are lost each year due to inadequate water, sanitation and hygiene. Less focus children in the global climate change discourse and the financing. Children most of the time get ignored. Only 2.5% of climate finance from pre-multilateral climate fund support project incorporating child responsive activities. Less focus on children. इन द ग्लोबल क्लाइमेट चेंज डिस्कोर्स में हम क्लाइमेट चेंज पे इतना काम कर रहे हैं, इतनी सारी स्कीम्स, इतनी सारी इनिशिएटिव ले रहे हैं, लेकिन चिल्ड्रन बहुत इग्नोर कर रहे हैं. ओनली 2.4% ऑफ क्लाइमेट फाइनेंस फॉर द की मल्टीलेटरल क्लाइमेट फंड दे सपोर्ट प्रोजेक्ट इनकॉर्पोरेटिंग द चाइल्ड रिस्पॉन्सिव एक्टिविटी. तो स्पेंड मोर टाइम आउटडोर. चिल्ड्रन दीज डेज टेंड टू स्पेंड मोर टाइम आउटडोर देन अडल्ट, इंक्रीजिंग द एक्सपोजर टू हीट, कोल्ड, रेन, स्नो, आउटडोर एलर्जीज एंड इंसेक्ट बाइट. यूनिसेफ का हेडक्वार्टर है न्यूयॉर्क, यूएसए. ये 1946 में बना था, एस्टैब्लिश्ड बाय द यूनाइटेड नेशन, बिकेम अ परमानेंट पार्ट ऑफ द यूनाइटेड नेशन सिस्टम इन 1953. एरिया ऑफ कॉपरेशन प्रेजेंटेड ओवर 190 कंट्रीज एंड टेरिटरीज इंक्लूडिंग इंडिया टू रीच द मोस्ट disadvantaged children and adolescents and to protect the rights of every child everywhere. Report: the state of the world children 2023 prospect for the children in the poly crisis are 2023 global outlook, right, tonight, etc. To reach the most disadvantaged children and adolescents to protect the rights of every child everywhere. The state of the world children 2023 prospect for children in the poly crisis 2023 global outlook, right, tonight, etc. Okay, developing emotionally. Children are still at the developing stage emotionally and thus are more prone to mental health impact like trauma from extreme event. Way forward, the report talks about the 3 P's: protect, prepare, prioritize to tackle children's vulnerability toward climate. क्या करेंगे? prepare, protect, prioritize. Okay, suggestion by the report: protect. Child critical services. Child critical service must be shock responsive, portable, inclusive, including for children already uprooted. Shock responsive, inclusive, portable. Prepare, proactive step. Prepare children and the young people to live in a climate change world by improving their adaptive capacity, their resilience, enabling their participation ठीक है. Prioritize to already displaced children. Prioritize children and the young people including those already uprooted from their home in the climate humanitarian development policy action and investment. Climate humanitarian development policy action investment suggestion by the supplement index, including children concerns in UNFCCC COP20, where the elevation of the children within the final COP28 covered decision and an expert dialogue on children and the climate change, including children concern. Elevation of children within the final COP28 covered decision and an expert dialogue on children and the climate change. Inclusion in global goal of adaptation. Global goal for adaptation. The inclusion of children and the climate resilient essential service within the final decision on the global goal for adaptation, including children concern in UN priority to already climate humanitarian development policy action and investment. Climate कोई action humanitarian development policy action investment, including children concern in UFCC COP28, the elevation of children within the final COP28 covered decision and expert dialogue on children and the climate change, inclusion in the global goal for adaptation, inclusion of children in the climate resilient essential service within the final decision of the global goal for adaptation, funding mechanism, make the loss and damage fund and the funding arrangement child responsible. जो loss and damage fund है और जो भी funding mechanism वो child responsible होना चाहिए, but child right embedded in the funds governance and decision making process. Global stock take, the GST, the embedding of children indicating equity in the GST. Global stock take, funding mechanism, inclusion in global goal for adaptation, including children concerned in UNFCCC COP28. Okay. Green building. Recently, the Indian Green Building in Congress that was held in Chennai, Tamil Nadu by the Indian Green Building Council. Green building choosing therefore to the use of environmental friendly construction material use करो, process, operation and maintenance. The concept of the green building is driven by the incentive to reduce the cost of energy and the waste management considering global warming and environmental triggers. Some innovative solutions in green construction include cool roof, geothermal heating, smart grid refrigerator, vegetated rooftop, for example. Agrocrete एक carbon negative building material है made of crop residue such as paddy straw, wheat straw, sugarcane bagasse, etc. Carbon craft tile is made with upcycled carbon by using recovered carbon waste as a resource. Carbon craft tile is made with upcycled carbon. Okay, about Indian Green Building Council, इसका headquarter हैदराबाद है, established by Confederation of Indian Industry in 2001. IGBC is India's premier certification body for the green building, which actively promotes the green building concept in India. It is also a founding member of the World Green Building Council. World will work with the business organization and the government to deliver on the vision for the Paris Agreement or Paris Agreement, United Nations Global Goal for Sustainable Development. Okay, Agrocrete, some innovative solutions in green construction include cool roof कैसे होना चाहिए cool, फिर geothermal heating, smart grid integration, refrigerator, vegetated rooftop. Agrocrete एक carbon negative building material which is made up of crop residues such as paddy, straw, wheat straw, sugarcane bagasse. Agrocrete. Carbon craft tile is made with upcycled carbon by using recovered carbon waste as a resource. The global green building material market is projected to grow from 4 to 2.27 billion in 2023 to 951 billion. कैसे? ग्लोबल ग्रीन बिल्डिंग मटेरियल मार्केट, जो ग्रीन बिल्डिंग मटेरियल का मार्केट है पहले सिर्फ 422 बिलियन था, अब वो 951 डबल हो जाएगा बाय 2023 एट अ कंपाउंड एनुअल ग्रोथ रेट ऑफ 12.3%. ग्रीन बिल्डिंग का डिफरेंट फ्रॉम एनर्जी एफिशिएंट. देखो, एक एनर्जी एफिशिएंट बिल्डिंग होती है, ठीक है, एक होता है नेट जीरो कार्बन बिल्डिंग, ये ग्रीन बिल्डिंग अलग होती है, ठीक है. एडवांटेजेस क्या है? एमिशन रिडक्शन. द बिल्डिंग एंड द कंस्ट्रक्शन सेक्टर्स दे कंट्रीब्यूट 38% ऑफ द ग्रीन हाउस गैस एमिशन एंड दे अकाउंट फॉर 35% ऑफ टोटल एनर्जी कंजम्पशन. सो LEED certified green building consume 25% less energy than a traditional building. 25% less energy. Okay, 38% of greenhouse gas emission. Economic benefit. Green building have lower operation and maintenance cost. Also, they improve the occupant productivity, optimize life cycle. They improve the occupant productivity and optimize life cycle economic performance. They improve the occupant productivity, optimize life cycle economic performance. Occupant productivity life cycle. Green building have lower operation and lower maintenance cost, so they improve occupant productivity, life cycle economic, social performance, social benefit, enhance the occupant comfort and health by ensuring clean air, water and less exposure to toxin and volatile organic compound. ठीक है, सोचो ये इन्हांसेस द ऑक्यूपेंट का, पहले तो उनकी प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ाता है, लाइफ साइकिल इकोनॉमिक परफॉर्मेंस, फिर उनका कंफर्ट, उनकी हेल्थ बाय इंश्योरिंग क्लीन एयर, क्लीन वाटर, लेस एक्सपोजर टू टॉक्सिन एंड वोलेटाइल ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड. difference between green building, energy sufficient building and net zero carbon building. So energy efficient building क्या होती है? They uses less energy to heat, cool and run appliances. Green buildings so beyond energy efficiency incorporate water efficiency, waste management, use of eco-friendly construction material. Net zero carbon building, they achieve zero carbon emission by cutting energy consumption and use on-site or off-site renewable energy resources. Okay. स्टेप्स क्या टेकन एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन बिल्डिंग ऑन ECBC, ये 2007 में आया था, जो 2017 में रिवाइज किया गया था बाय द ब्यूरो ऑफ एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी. एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन बिल्डिंग कोड एस्टैब्लिश एनर्जी स्टैंडर्ड फॉर न्यू कमर्शियल बिल्डिंग. मिनिमम एनर्जी स्टैंडर्ड, अगर मिनिमम एनर्जी यूज़ करना है तो उसका स्टैंडर्ड क्या है? फॉर न्यू कमर्शियल बिल्डिंग विद अ कनेक्टेड लोड ऑफ 100 किलोवाट और अ कॉन्टैक्ट डिमांड ऑफ 120 किलोवाट एम्पियर और मोर. इको निवास संहिता 2018 लॉन्च बाय द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर इको निवास एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन न्यू इंडिया वे for affordable and sustainable home संहिता 2018 is ECBC for residential building. इको निवास संहिता 2018 लॉन्च बाय द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर इको निवास संहिता 2018 लॉन्च बाय मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर इको निवास एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन न्यू इंडिया वे फॉर अफोर्डेबल एंड सस्टेनेबल होम. ओके, लॉन्च बाय द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर, दैट इज इको निवास एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन. इको निवास संहिता 2018 लॉन्च बाय मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर इको निवास एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन न्यू इंडिया वे फॉर संहिता 2018 इज ECBC फॉर रेजिडेंशियल बिल्डिंग. ग्रीन रेटिंग फॉर इंटीग्रेटेड गृह. इको निवास संहिता 2018 मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर ने किया था, ठीक है. एनर्जी कंजर्वेशन न्यू इंडिया वे फॉर अफोर्डेबल एंड सस्टेनेबल होम इज ECBC फॉर रेजिडेंशियल बिल्डिंग. ओके, ग्रीन रेटिंग फॉर गृह जॉइंट डेवलप्ड बाय द तेरी, दैट इज द एनर्जी एंड रिसोर्स इंस्टीट्यूट, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ न्यू एंड रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी. और इको निवास संहिता मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर ने न्यू एंड रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी गृह यूज अ 5-star रेटिंग वैलिड फॉर 5 year. लीडरशिप इन एनर्जी एंड एनवायरमेंटल डिजाइन एंड इंटरनेशनली रिकॉग्नाइज सर्टिफिकेशन सिस्टम फॉर ग्रीन बिल्डिंग डेवलप्ड बाय द US ग्रीन बिल्डिंग काउंसिल. रिसेंटली इंडिया आउट परफॉर्म USA एंड चाइना इन लीड नेट जीरो सर्टिफिकेशन. स्टार रेटिंग फॉर कमर्शियल बिल्डिंग लॉन्च बाय द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर फॉर असिस्टिंग एनर्जी यूज इन द बिल्डिंग ऑन अ 1 to 5 scale. Faster clearances. Ministry of Environment Forest Clearing offers a fast track environmental clearance for green building projects which are pre-certified by the IGBC. ठीक है, IGBC, Indian Green Building Congress, IGBC. Okay. We had economic incentives, finance commission and local bodies. They should encourage the green building through tax incentive as another measure. Green projects need long-term investment which banks can support through the issuance of green bond. Banks can also offer construction loan with lower interest rate to incentivize developer. कि बैंक जो लोन दे वो लोअर इंटरेस्ट रेट पे दे, ठीक है. एंड ग्रीन बॉन्ड policy measure fast track clearance for green building, that is enact legislation mandating green building standard for the new construction. Additionally require the retrofitting of existing building to adopt the environment friendly practices and become more sustainable. Training and capacity building, developing training module and conduct training sessions for various industry stakeholders including government officials, green rating agencies, architects to promote the adoption. Awareness campaign, creating awareness on the green building at school, college and university level. This may enable the education institution to develop industry ready professionals, train on green concept, facilitate industry academic linkage. Awareness campaign, training, capacity building, awareness campaign, creating awareness on green building at school, college, university level. This will enable education institution to develop industry ready professionals. This creating training, capacity building, awareness, creating awareness on the green building at school, college and university level. This will enable education institution to develop industry ready professionals. ट्रेन ऑन ग्रीन क्या हमें चाहिए? अगर हम स्कूल कॉलेज में ट्रेनिंग दें तो जो प्रोफेशनल्स होंगे दे विल इंडस्ट्री रिलेटेड, दे विल ट्रेन ऑन ग्रीन कॉज एंड दे फैसिलिटेट इंडस्ट्री academia linkage. National efficient cooking program, national efficient cooking program. Recently the Energy Efficiency Service Limited launched the National Efficient Cooking Program and the Energy Efficient Fans Program. Energy Efficient Fan Program, National Efficient Cooking Program, Energy Efficiency Service Limited. National Efficient Cooking Program, Energy Efficient Fan Program. Okay, Energy Efficient Fan Program, it emphasizes on the importance of urgency of energy efficient fan target to distribute 1 crore energy efficient fan that can reduce nearly 20% of the total residential electricity consumption. Energy efficient cooking, energy efficient fan program. Okay, National Efficient Cooking Program, a subset of a clean cooking scheme, clean cooking, to revolutionize the cooking practice in India, to deploy 20 lakh induction based cook stove across India, 20 lakh. Okay, और energy efficient fan 1 crore. Non solar non-solar electricity-based induction cook stove aligned with the Geo Electric initiative by the Ministry of Power. Go Electric campaign aims to create awareness on the e-mobility ecosystem and the benefit of electric cooking through information, communication, education activity. Other scheme for alternate cooking solution. Unnat Chula Abhiyan program for the promotion of improved biomass cook stove in the country to reduce the consumption. Unnat Chula Abhiyan program. Promotion of improved biomass cook stove in the country to reduce the consumption of fuel wood with higher efficiency. इसकी efficiency भी बढ़ा है और emission भी कम है. Biomass cook stove. उन्नत चूल्हा अभियान प्रोग्राम 2014 National Biogas Manure Management Program for setting up a family type household biogas plant to meet the cooking energy need of rural and semi-urban areas. Promoting solar cooker to reduce the indoor air pollution. Promoting solar cooker to reduce indoor air pollution. Promoting solar cooker to reduce indoor air pollution. Okay, promoting solar cooker to reduce the indoor air pollution. National Biogas and Manure Management Program for setting up a family type household biogas plant to meet the cooking energy need on the rural and the semi-urban areas. National Biogas and setting up a family type household biogas plant to meet the cooking energy need for rural and semi-urban areas. National Biogas Manure Management Plan promotes solar cooker to reduce indoor air pollution. Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana providing them with a clean cooking fuel through LPG. Significance of the initiative. Benefits of e-cooking. Efficient है, safer alternatives है to traditional gas and electric stove with portable convenience and safety. Fulfilling rising demand for induction stove with over 10 million units sold in 2021-22. Increased demand is attributed to factors like modular kitchen, rising LPG cost, and versatility of cooking with induction. Fulfilling rising demand for induction stove with over 10 million units sold in 2000. Fulfilling rising demand for induction stove with over 10 million units sold in 2021-22. एक सेकेंड. Fulfilling rising demand for induction stove with over 10 million units sold in 2021-22. Increased demand is attributed to factors like modular kitchen, rising LPG cost, and the versatility of cooking with induction. Versatility. Carbon footprint reduction. These initiatives are aimed at enhancing energy efficiency in Indian household and contribute to carbon mitigation goal. Economic saving. It offers a cost advantage of 25-30% over the traditional cooking method. Otherwise, reduced dependence on the imported sources of energy. Reduce dependence on imported source of energy. No difference in food cooked on flame versus that cooked using induction cooker. ठीक है. No difference in food cooked in flame versus that cooked using induction. Reduce dependence on imported source of energy. Energy Efficiency Service Limited, Ministry of Power, founded in 2009 as a joint venture of 4 public sector. NTPC, National Thermal Power Corporation, Power Finance Corporation, REC Limited, Power Grid Corporation. So NTPC, Power Finance, Power Grid, REC, to enable the ecosystem for responsible energy adoption with innovation and the market creation approaches. Unnat Jyoti by affordable LED Ujala. Unnat Jyoti by affordable LED for all. Scheme distributed LED bulb across India. Street lighting national program, smart meter national program, building energy efficiency program, Gram Ujala, Atal Jyoti Yojana. Unnat Jyoti by affordable LED for all. देखिए उजाला. उन्नत ज्योति बाय अफोर्डेबल एलईडी फॉर ऑल. ओके. उन्नत ज्योति बाय अफोर्डेबल एलईडी फॉर ऑल. उजाला. अफोर्डेबल उजाला अलग है, उज्ज्वला अलग है इसके. ठीक है. उज्ज्वला. ओके. प्रधानमंत्री उज्ज्वला योजना. उजाला अलग है. अफोर्डेबल एलईडी फॉर ऑल. ठीक है. स्ट्रीट लाइटिंग नेशनल प्रोग्राम, स्मार्ट मीटर नेशनल प्रोग्राम, बिल्डिंग एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी प्रोग्राम और ग्राम उजाला अजय अटल ज्योति योजना. इट इज़ वन ऑफ द मेन इम्प्लीमेंटेशन arm of the National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency, a mission of the National Plan of the Climate Change. National Mission on Enhanced Energy Efficiency. Okay. Next point है organic farming का. During the National Symposium on the promotion of organic products through the cooperative organic food products of the National Cooperative Organic Limited was known in the brand name Bharat Organic. 6 organic products were launched under the Bharat Organic brand. Tur dal, chana dal, sugar, rajma, basmati rice and Sona Masuri rice. Concept of organic under one roof, that is a network of retail outlet for all organic products, started through National Cooperative Organic Limited was also launched. National Organic Cooperative Limited is one of the 3 new cooperatives where the government has set up the other 2 cooperatives, one in the field of certified seed, certified export and cooperative National Cooperative Organic Limited. ओके. एक है नेशनल कोऑपरेटिव ऑर्गेनिक लिमिटेड. ये 2023 में लॉन्च हुआ है अंदर मल्टी स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव स्कीम ऑफ एक्ट मल्टी स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव स्कीम एक्ट 2002, तो ये लॉन्च हुआ है, और एक सीड पे और एक एक्सपोर्ट पे। टू प्रोवाइड अ प्लेटफॉर्म टू ऑल द फार्मर्स डूइंग द नेचुरल फार्मिंग अक्रॉस द कंट्री, एक प्लेटफॉर्म उन सारे फार्मर्स के लिए जो नेचुरल फार्मिंग करें अक्रॉस द कंट्री, एंड टू मेक अरेंजमेंट फॉर द मार्केटिंग ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट, प्रोमोटेड जॉइंटली बाय ए अमूल, नेशनल कोऑपरेटिव कंज्यूमर फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया लिमिटेड, कोऑपरेटिव कंज्यूमर फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया लिमिटेड, नेशनल एग्रीकल्चर कोऑपरेटिव मार्केटिंग फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया लिमिटेड, एक नेशनल कोऑपरेटिव कंज्यूमर फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया लिमिटेड, एक नेशनल एग्रीकल्चर कंज्यूमर कोऑपरेटिव मार्केटिंग फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया लिमिटेड, नेशनल डेयरी डेवलपमेंट बोर्ड, नेशनल कोऑपरेटिव डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन. It will select the organic products in India and it will be marketed in other countries. Any cooperative society or an association or person as may be permitted by the central register can become a member of the NSCL. Okay, more about the news. Six organic products were launched under the Bharat Organics brand. Turda Chanadar. Okay, ये हो गया था. Okay, what is organic farming? So it is a unique production management. It is a very unique production management system that promotes as well as enhances agro ecosystem health, including biodiversity, biological cycle, soil biological activity. ये बहुत ही यूनिक प्रोडक्शन मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम है दैट प्रमोट्स एज वेल एज एनहांसेस द एग्रो इकोसिस्टम हेल्थ इंक्लूडिंग बायोडाइवर्सिटी. यूनिक प्रोडक्शन मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम दैट प्रमोट्स एनहांसेस एग्रो इकोसिस्टम हेल्थ, एग्रीकल्चर का भी इकोसिस्टम का हेल्थ, बायोडाइवर्सिटी को भी मेंटेन करता है, बायोलॉजिकल साइकिल एंड द सॉइल बायोलॉजिकल एक्टिविटी. दिस इज अकम्पलीज बाय यूजिंग ऑन फार्म और एग्रोनॉमिक बायोलॉजिकल मैकेनिकल method in inclusion of all synthetic off-farm input. Benefits of organic farming for the environment: prohibit the use of the harmful pesticide, healthy soil, mitigate climate change through the carbon sequestration, reduces erosion, cleaner water, stimulate biodiversity and microorganism, ethical pasture based system for farmers, reduces the input cost, attracts more customers, more resilient to extreme weather event, etc. for consumer, healthier and higher nutritional quality. Data Bank. India has the highest number of the organic farmer in the world, 44.3 lakh. Economic Survey 2022 से 23. 59.1 lakh hectare area has been brought under the organic farming in India by 2021 by 59.1 lakh hectare area has been brought under the organic farming in India. कितना? India has the highest number of organic farmers in the world. कितने? 44.3 lakh. 59.1 lakh hectare area has been brought under the organic farming. देखो फार्मर कितने हैं? 44.3 लाख. एरिया कितना है? 59.1 लाख. ठीक है. इंडिया रैंक से कितना है? सर्टिफाइड एरिया ग्लोबली. द वर्ल्ड नोट ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक एग्रीकल्चर स्ट्रेटेजी का नंबर 6 है. ठीक है. सर्टिफाइड एरिया ग्लोबली. ओके, ये बता दिया था ऑन फार्म में सबके लिए. ऑर्गेनिक वर्सेस नेचुरल फार्मिंग. वाइल बोथ ऑर्गेनिक एंड नेचुरल फार्मिंग आर सिमिलर इन सर्टेन एरियाज, दैट इज प्रोविजन द यूज ऑफ द सिंथेटिक फर्टिलाइजर, यूज ऑफ ऑन फार्म बायोमास management and biological nutrient recycling, encouraging crop diversity. The different certain aspects as well. Organic farming, natural farming. इसमें it permit the use of off farm ऑर्गेनिक एंड द बायोलॉजिकल इनपुट लाइक हम कंपोस्ट और वर्मी का, ये ऑफ फार्म है. लेकिन इसमें कोई भी एक्सटर्नल इनपुट नहीं कर सकता ऑन फार्म लैंड, ओनली ऑन फार्म बेस. ये ऑफ फार्म डाल सकते हो ओनली ऑन फार्म बेस. ओपन फॉर द माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट करेक्शन थ्रू यूज ऑफ सर्टेन मिनरल, बट यूज ऑफ मिनरल्स इज नॉट अलाउड. प्लव कर सकते हो, सॉइल को टिल कर सकते हो. वीडिंग माइट बी अंडरटेकन इन ऑर्गेनिक फार्म, बट इट मिमिक्स नेचुरल इकोसिस्टम. नो प्लविंग, नो टिलिंग एंड नो वीडिंग डन ऑन नेचुरल फार्म. सो नेचुरल फार्मिंग बहुत ही स्ट्रिक्ट है. ना ही कोई इनपुट, ना ही कोई मिनरल, ना ही कोई नेचुरल मिमिक प्लविंग, टिलिंग और वीडिंग. मेजर चैलेंजेस क्या है फॉर द ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग सेक्टर? बहुत ही ज़्यादा इनपुट कॉस्ट, हाई इनपुट कॉस्ट इन द लो ईल्ड कम है, इनपुट कॉस्ट भी ज़्यादा है. इन द इनिशियल ईयर फॉर ट्रांजिशनिंग फ्रॉम, जब हम कन्वेंशनल से ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग में ट्रांजिशन कर रहे हैं तो इनिशियल फेज में ही लग रहा है. इनएफिशिएंट सप्लाई चेन फॉर मार्केटिंग, जो सप्लाई चेन है वो इनएफिशिएंट है. ना ही प्रॉपर मार्केटिंग डेवलपमेंट, ना ही डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक फूड प्रोडक्ट. इशू फॉर सर्टिफिकेशन फॉर लाइक प्रेजेंस ऑफ मल्टीपल सर्टिफिकेशन, वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स एंड वेरी कॉस्टली प्रोसेसेस एंड इनडिक्वेट नंबर ऑफ द थर्ड पार्टी एक्रेडिटेशन. लिमिटेड गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट फॉर एग्रीकल्चर इनपुट नीडेड फॉर ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग, स्पेशली गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट भी नहीं कर रही है फॉर एग्रीकल्चर इनपुट नीडेड फॉर ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग, स्पेशली फॉर द बायो फर्टिलाइजर एंड बायो पेस्टिसाइड. कोई गवर्नमेंट सपोर्ट नहीं. अवेयरनेस नहीं है फार्मर फॉर प्रोडक्शन टेक्नोलॉजी, कंपोस्ट मैनेजमेंट की कौन कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ करनी है, कंपोस्ट को कैसे मैनेजमेंट करना है, पेस्ट कंट्रोल कैसे करेंगे, बेनिफिट क्या है ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग के, प्रिंसिपल क्या है ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग. हेल्थ, इकोलॉजी, फेयरनेस, केयर. ओके, हेल्थ में मतलब इनहेंसेस द हेल्थ ऑफ प्लांट, सॉइल, देन एनिमल, ह्यूमन, planet as one and indivisible. Ecology, it balances the ecological systems and the cycle, work with them, emulate them, sustain them. Principle of fairness, it builds on the relationship common environment and life opportunity. Common environment and life opportunity. Principle of care, consideration of future generation and the environment. consideration of future generation and the environment. Okay, organic certification design in India. National Program for Organic Production System और प्रोसेस सर्टिफिकेशन वेरियन इंडिपेंडेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन दे रिव्यू द एंटायर प्रोडक्शन, कैसे प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है, दैन कैसे प्रोसेसिंग हो रही है, हैंडलिंग, ट्रांसपोर्ट टू एंश्योर द कंप्लायंस विद ऑर्गेनिक स्टैंडर्ड. द नेशनल प्रोग्राम फॉर ऑर्गेनिक प्रोडक्शन मैनेज एंड ऑपरेटेड बाय द एग्रीकल्चर एंड द प्रोसेस फूड एक्सपोर्ट अपीडा, एग्रीकल्चर एंड प्रोसेस फूड एक्सपोर्ट डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी एंड द मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री. अपीडा किसमें, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री में. तो नेशनल प्रोग्राम फॉर ऑर्गेनिक प्रोडक्शन सर्टिफाइड प्रोडक्ट्स कैन बी ट्रेडेड एंड एक्सपोर्ट इन डोमेस्टिक मार्केट इंक्लूडिंग द इम्पोर्ट. पार्टिसिपेटरी गारंटी स्कीम System of India, Participatory Guarantee System of India, quality assurance initiative that is locally relevant, emphasizes the participation of the stakeholders including the producer as well as the consumer and operators outside the frame of third party certification, implemented by the Department of Agriculture, Cooperation, Farmers Welfare, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Javik Bharat logo. The food safety of FSSAI, Food Safety and Standards Authority of India has introduced the logo FSSAI, Food Safety and Standard Authority of India has introduced logo to communicate the adherence to national organic standard. किसका, national organic standard. जैविक भारत logo, national program for organic producer and participatory guarantee system. Other government initiative for promoting organic farming, परंपरागत कृषि विकास योजना, cluster based program for promotion or production promotion of organic farming, national project on organic farming, a national center for organic farming was established at Ghaziabad. ठीक है, टू प्रोवाइड द इंस्टीट्यूशनल सपोर्ट एज वेल टू फैसिलिटेट फार्मर फॉर द ऑर्गेनिक क्रॉप प्रोडक्शन. गाजियाबाद में नेशनल प्रोजेक्ट ऑन ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग गाजियाबाद. ऑर्गेनिक वैल्यू चेन डेवलपमेंट इन नॉर्थ ईस्टर्न रीजन स्कीम टू लिंक द ग्रोवर्स विद कंज्यूमर टू सपोर्ट द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ द एंटायर वैल्यू चेन स्टार्टिंग विद द इनपुट एंड सीड सर्टिफिकेशन इन द नॉर्थ ईस्ट रीजन. ऑर्गेनिक ई कॉमर्स प्लेटफॉर्म लाइक जैविक खेती www जैविक खेती for directly linking farmers with retail and the bulk buyer. The government would help the 10 million farmers switch to natural or the chemical balanced farming during the following 3 years. The government would help 10 million farmers to switch to natural or the chemical balanced farming during the following 3 years. The government would help 10 million farmer to switch to, अभी कितना है 43 पॉइंट ऐसे एक सेकेंड ये पॉइंट मैं मिस कर रही हूँ. 44.3 लाख है, 59.1 लाख हेक्टर एरिया है. ओके 10 ये चाहते हैं कि इट विल हेल्प द 10 मिलियन फार्मर्स टू स्विच टू नेचुरल और द केमिकल बैलेंस फार्मर ड्यूरिंग द फॉलोइंग 3 ईयर अकॉर्डिंग टू द बजट 2003. स्टेट लेवल इनिशिएटिव है केरला ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग मिशन एम्ड एट एक्सपैंडिंग द ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग टू 5,000 हेक्टर्स इन केरला द नेक्स्ट 5 years through an annual target of 1,000 hectares. Sikkim became the world's first 100% organic state. Way forward क्या है, mobilizing and training farmer to mobilize करो, train करो to produce on farm input through farmers field schools using information and information communication and education, encouraging local decentralized production of input, local production हो and decentralized production of input for organic farming and that utilizes local resources and generate the village level employment. Strengthening the certification design by simplifying processes and holding farmers to obtain certification, enhancing the number and the reach of the certifying agencies, incentivize the production of organic input, strengthening certification, encouraging local decentralized production, mobilizing and training farmer, incentivizing production of organic input through government subsidies, tax benefit, investment in building the capacity of the small scale manufacturer, entrepreneurs on composting technique, quality assurance, marketing, selling manure to upscale production, enhance the role of cooperatives to support the organic farming. Role of cooperative supporting organic farming, they will link the farmers to certified and authentic organic product, certified and authentic, developing and maintaining the dedicated market intelligence system for organic produce, then technical guidance, training, capacity building for organic producer, arrange financial incentive to organic farmers, enhance the reach and the demand of the organic producer in global market as well. Okay, the news and salt climate equality. Oxfam has released a report titled Climate Equality, a Planet for the 99%. The report emphasizes on the climate breakdown and the extreme inequality as a twin challenge facing humanity. Climate breakdown, extreme inequality as twin challenges. क्लाइमेट भी ब्रेक डाउन हो रहा है. ये ऑक्सफाम ने ये क्लाइमेट इक्वालिटी अप्लाई फॉर द 1990 की ऑक्सफाम में क्लाइमेट ब्रेकडाउन एक्सट्रीम इनइक्वालिटी. इन 2019 अ सुपर रिच 1% फॉर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर 16% ऑफ द ग्लोबल कार्बन एमिशन इक्वल टू एमिशन ऑफ द पूरे 66% ऑफ द ह्यूमैनिटी. Super rich 1% were responsible for 16% of the global carbon emission. Okay, super rich 1% were responsible for 16% of the super rich 1%, they were responsible for 16% of global carbon emission, equivalent to emission of the poorest 66% of the humanity. Since 1990, super rich 1% burned through twice as much of the carbon budget as the poorest half of the humanity combined. The emission of the 1% are said to be over 22 times more than the safe limit. The super rich 1% were responsible for 16% of the global carbon emission, equivalent to the emission of poorest of 66% of humanity. Since 1990, super rich 1% burned through twice as much of the carbon budget as the poorest half of the humanity combined. The emission of the 1% are said to be over 22 times more than the safe limit. That is, the emission of the super rich 1% in 2019 are enough to cause 1.3 million deaths due to heat wave. Policy recommendation: radical increase in equality. Government must implement the proven policies to dramatically drive down the gap between the richest and the rest. The fast and the just transition away from the fossil fuel. Implement a new wave of taxes on the corporation and the willingness to drive down emission dramatically and fund transition. New purpose for a new age. It needs to prioritize human and the planetary well-being over endless profit. Prioritize human well-being and planetary well-being over the endless profit extraction and consumption. Climate inequality. Some communities experience a disproportionate impact of the climate change because of existing vulnerability. Historical patterns of inequity, socio-economic disparity. हिस्टोरिकल इनिक्विटी है, सोशल एज वेल एज इकोनॉमिक डिस्पैरिटी है, सिस्टमेटिक इन्वायरमेंटल इनजस्टिस. क्लाइमेट इक्वालिटी. इट एंश्योर्स जस्ट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ द बेनिफिट of a climate protection effort and alleviate unequal burden created by the climate change. Adaptation Gap Report 2003. The report is released by the United Nations Environment Programme. Adaptation is a process of reducing the countries and the communities' vulnerability to reducing countries and the communities' vulnerability to climate change by increasing the impact absorption ability. अगर adaptation अच्छा है तो आप impact को absorb कर सकोगे. Adaptation gap is the difference between the implemented adaptation and the sociality set goal. It is determined by the preference related to the climate change impact and reflecting the resource limitation and the competing priorities. Resource बहुत कम है, climate change हो रहा है और competing priorities है. Adaptation finance needs are 10 to 18 times higher than the current public flow. Adaptation finance gap is expanding now at US $194 to 360 million annually. Action plan on loss and damage has overlooked non-economic losses like cultural heritage, indigenous knowledge. Only 2% of the gender tagged international resource finance is gender responsive. 2% of the gender tagged. Recommendation: developed countries should double their climate finance for adaptation from 2019 level by 2025. Developed countries should double their climate finance for adaptation, increase as well as improve budget tagging and tracking for integrating adaptation into the budget planning. Mobilize the private investment by methods like resilience bond and insurance. Leverage remittances, which often contribute significantly to gross domestic product. Leverage remittances. Developed countries climate finance for adaptation, improve budget tagging, tracking for integrating adaptation, mobilize private investment by methods like resilient bond insurance, leverage remittances, which often contribute significantly to GDP, financing small and medium enterprises, limiting them to offer adaptation relevant implementation of Article 2.1c of the Paris Agreement, making finance flow inconsistent with the pathway toward the low carbon and climate resilient development. 2.1c. यूनाइटेड नेशन इन्वायरमेंट प्रोग्राम, इसका हेडक्वार्टर है नैरोबी केनिया में. लीडिंग इन्वायरमेंटल अथॉरिटी यूनाइटेड नेशन सिस्टम की 1972 में बनी थी, फॉलोइंग द यूनाइटेड नेशन कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑन द ह्यूमन एनवायरनमेंट टू फाइंड द सोल्यूशन टू ट्रिपल प्लानेटरी क्राइसिस. एक क्लाइमेट चेंज, नेचर लॉस एंड बायोडाइवर्सिटी लॉस, नेचर बायोडाइवर्सिटी लॉस, पोल्यूशन एंड द वेस्ट. इसके कितने मेंबर? 193. इंडिया इसका मेंबर है. एमिशन गैप रिपोर्ट भी देता है, ग्लोबल इन्वायरमेंट आउटलुक भी देता है, पेरिस एग्रीमेंट सिंथेसिस रिपोर्ट, यूएन सेक्रेटरी रिलीज नेचुरली. ये डिटरमाइन कंट्रीब्यूशन अंडर एनडीसी अंडर द पेरिस एग्रीमेंट सिंथेसिस रिपोर्ट. द रिपोर्ट एनालाइज द नेशनली डिटरमाइन कंट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ 195 पार्टीज टू द पेरिस एग्रीमेंट. द वर्ल्ड इज ऑफ ट्रैक टू पेरिस एग्रीमेंट गोल. इंप्लीमेंटिंग लेटेस्ट एनडीसी विल इंक्रीज द एमिशन बाय अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 8.8% बाय 2030 रिलेटेड टू 2010 लेवल. तो एमिशन नीड टू बी कट ऑन बाय 45% बाय 2030 कंपेयर टू 2010 लेवल, और ये 8.8% बढ़ा दे रहा है इंक्रीज एमिशन. ठीक है, 45% अचीव द पेरिस एग्रीमेंट गोल. आईपीसीसी रिपोर्ट 2018. इंडिजिनस पीपल एंड लोकल कम्युनिटीज. 40% ऑफ द पार्टीज आउटलाइन द रोल ऑफ द लोकल कम्युनिटीज एंड राइट्स ऑफ द इंडिजिनस पीपल इन एडaptation component of the nationally determined contribution. So this includes the addressing the specific vulnerabilities of the indigenous people. उनको एड्रेस करो. Emphasize the importance of utilizing indigenous knowledge to enhance the climate effort. Gender sensitive approach. Parties are increasingly recognizing gender integration as a means to enhance the ambition as well as effectiveness of the climate action. Recommendation: to achieve the emission peaking before 2030. To achieve emission to achieve emission peaking before 2030. To achieve emission peaking बिफोर एसेंशियल फैक्टर्स इंक्लूड इनहांस एक्सेस टू फाइनेंशियल रिसोर्स, फाइनेंस आना चाहिए भाई, पैसा नहीं का तो कैसे करेंगे, टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर, अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ मार्केट बेस्ड मैकेनिज्म. यूएनएफसीसी का सेक्रेटरी जनरल इज टास्क्ड विद सपोर्टिंग द ग्लोबल रिस्पॉन्स टू द थ्रेट ऑफ द क्लाइमेट चेंज. यूएनएफसीसी यूनाइटेड फ्रेमवर्क कन्वेंशन ऑफ क्लाइमेट चेंज अडॉप्टेड इन 1992 is the parent treaty of the Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement adopted in 2015. Treaty is legally binding to keep the global average temperature increase well below 2 degrees Celsius with the pre-industrial level. NDC are countries that are self-defined. NDC, national determined contribution, are countries self-defined and national climate pledges. NDC are required to be updated every 5 years. State of the Climate Service report. The World Meteorological Organization released the State of the Climate Service report for 2003. This year, the annual report focuses on the health. Meteorological Organization WPN State of the Climate Service focuses on State of the Climate Service 2001 medical services on health. It impact of the climate change. Climate change may reverse the decade of progress toward the better health, particularly in the most vulnerable country. Financing gap for air pollution. Air pollution is the fourth biggest killer by health risk factor. Yet only 2% of the international climate commits go to tackle it. Underutilization of climate information. Climate information enhances the public health prevention strategies and preparedness to stabilize. 74% of the National Meteorological and Hydrological Service provide climate data to health actor, but utilization of these data remains limited. Climate services for health. It includes the collaboration with the partners to identify the access and generate generate and use of reliable climate knowledge for better health decisions. So access, generate reliable climate knowledge for better health decisions. Such services are facing research and the knowledge gap, lack of access to sufficient local meteorological observation, insufficient human in the institutional capacity. There is a need for tailored climate information and service to support the health sector. This can be achieved through developing in-country capacity to improve the local knowledge. Policy mandates for the health and the meteorology actors to collaborate. Recommendation: tailor climate information, जो भी information आने उसे tailor करो, and services to support the health sector. In country capacities to improve the local knowledge. Policy mandates for the health and the meteorological actors to collaborate, raising awareness about the importance of the climate information. World Meteorological Organization इसका हेडक्वार्टर जिनेवा में है. इंटर गवर्नमेंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है. स्पेसिफाइड एजेंसी जो है एस्टैब्लिश इन 1920 टू रेज द ओरिजिन ऑफ द IMO. 1873 में वियना कन्वेंशन, वियना इंटरनेशनल मेट्रोलॉजिकल कांग्रेस लेड द इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ द IMO. 1873 में कांग्रेस हुई थी और 1951 था डेडिकेटेड टू इंटरनेशनल कोऑपरेशन एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन ऑन स्टेट एंड बिहेवियर. International cooperation, coordination on state and behavior of the Earth atmosphere, its interaction with the land and the ocean, the weather, and the climate it produces, and the resulting distribution of the water resources. 193 member. Okay. International cooperation, coordination, behavior of the atmosphere, interaction with the land and ocean, weather and climate it produces, resulting distribution of water resources. 193 India's number है. State of the global climate, air quality and the climate bulletin. Ice melt in the West Antarctica. According to research, accelerated ice melt in the West Antarctica is unstoppable. Researchers used a high-resolution computer model of the Amundsen Sea. Ocean-driven melting of the floating ice shelf in the Amundsen Sea is the main process controlling sea level rise. Amundsen Sea is located off the coast of the West Antarctica. Okay. About ocean-driven melting of floating ice, it follows the following. Okay. Melting causes the retreat of the grounding line, that is the line where the ice first goes afloat. It reduces melting. जो melting हो रहा है उसकी वजह से grounding line कम हो रही, retreat हुई. It reduces the resistance of the ice flowing across the grounding line. Faster flow near the grounding line causes more horizontal stretching, leading to thinning. It creates a steeper surface slope steep, which increases the stress that drives the ice forward. The faster flow inland causes the thinning to propagate even further into the interior of the ice sheet, increasing the contribution to sea level rise. Impact of recent evolution. Enormous impact on sea level. West Antarctic ice sheet, if completely lost, could contribute to sea level rise of up to 5 meter. ठीक है, 5 मीटर बढ़ जाएगा if completely lost. Impact on coastal cities. Over 1/3 of the global population reside. देखो 1/3 population within 100 किलोमीटर रह रहा है of the coast, so they are very vulnerable to a sea level rise. ये है आपका Amundsen Sea, ये है थ्वाटल, ये वेडल अंटार्कटिका है, ऊपर वेडल सी, Amundsen Sea, रॉस सी, ये आपका वेस्ट अंटार्कटिक आइस शीट है, ये ईस्ट अंटार्कटिक आइस शीट है, यहाँ पे साउथ पोल है, यहाँ पे थ्वाटस ग्लेशियर है. ग्लोबल लैंडस्केप ऑफ क्लाइमेट फाइनेंस 2023 रिपोर्ट. द रिपोर्ट इज रिवील्ड by the Climate Policy Initiative. The climate finance refers to financing from public, private, alternative source that seeks to support the mitigation, adaptation, action to address the climate change. Mitigation tackles the causes of climate change, whereas the adaptation tackles the effect of climate change. मिटिगेशन क्या टैकल करता है? कॉजेज ऑफ क्लाइमेट चेंज. ठीक है. अडेप्टेशन टैकल द इफेक्ट ऑफ क्लाइमेट चेंज. की हाईलाइट ऑफ द रिपोर्ट. एवरेज एनुअल क्लाइमेट फाइनेंस फ्लो रीच ऑलमोस्ट USD 1.3 ट्रिलियन इन 2021-2022, nearly doubling than the previous year. Average annual climate finance flow reach almost क्लाइमेट के लिए फाइनेंस कितना जा रहा है? 1.3 ट्रिलियन. चाइना, US, यूरोप, ब्राज़ील, Japan, India received 90% of the increased climate finance. Climate finance uneven across sector. Energy and transport continue to attract the majority of the flow. Private sector provided 49% of the total climate finance. Adaptation finance continues to lag. देखो मिटिगेशन फाइनेंस तो है लेकिन अडेप्टेशन फाइनेंस नहीं है. अडेप्टेशन फाइनेंस लैग 98% जो उसमें है वो पब्लिक सेक्टर से ही आ रहा है. रिकमेंडेशन. रिफॉर्मिंग इंटरनेशनल फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन विद रूल्स एंड इंसेंटिव्स अलाइन विद द क्लाइमेट नीड. लेवरेजिंग कंसेशनल फाइनेंस टू एक्सपैंड द प्राइवेट फ्लो. मेन स्ट्रीमिंग क्लाइमेट अडेप्टेशन एज वेल एज द रेजिलियंस इनटू फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम. अभी से मिटिगेशन पे फोकस कर रहा है. फेजिंग आउट अनएबेटेड फॉसिल फ्यूल थ्रू अ जस्ट ट्रांजिशन. मेकिंग क्लाइमेट फाइनेंस डेटा वाइडली अवेलेबल एंड एक्सेसिबल. Work across countries to harmonize and enhance interoperability. Okay. Global climate finance mechanism. Global Environment Facility established in 1992 Rio Earth Summit. It is a unique partnership of 18 agencies working with 183 countries to address the world's most challenging environmental issue. ये 1992 में रियो अर्थ समिट में बना था. ग्लोबल इन्वॉल्वमेंट की ये यूनिक पार्टनरशिप है. 18 एजेंसीज है, 183 कंट्रीज है. वर्ल्ड्स मोस्ट चैलेंजिंग इन्वायरमेंटल इशू को एड्रेस करता है. एडवेशन फंड 2001 में टू फाइनेंस द कॉन्क्रीट एडेप्टेशन प्रोजेक्ट एंड प्रोग्राम्स इन डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज विच आर पार्टीज टू द क्योटो प्रोटोकॉल. स्पेशल क्लाइमेट चेंज फंड वॉज एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन 2001. एडेप्टेशन फंड, स्पेशल क्लाइमेट चेंज फंड टू फाइनेंस प्रोजेक्ट रिलेटेड टू एडेप्टेशन, technology transfer, capacity building, energy transport. Least developed countries fund was established to support a work program to assist the least developed countries parties in carrying out the preparation as well as the implementation of the National Adaptation Program and Action. National Adaptation Program and Action. Green Climate Fund established under the Cancun Agreement in 2010. Green Climate Fund, Cancun Agreement 2010 support developing countries in raising as well as realizing their nationally determined contribution ambition. World largest social plan recently launched. Noor Abu Dhabi of UAE is one of the world's largest standalone operational solar plant. वर्ल्ड का लार्जेस्ट स्टैंड अलोन ऑपरेशनल प्लांट विद अ टोटल कैपेसिटी ऑफ 1.2 गीगावाट. Stand alone operational solar plant 1.2 gigawatt. Other largest solar power plant are Bhadla solar park राजस्थान जिसकी 2.25 gigawatt है. ठीक है. भदला सोलर पार्क 2.25 gigawatt. पावागढ़ सोलर पार्क कर्नाटका पावागढ़ 2 gigawatt. Ramagundam floating solar PV project at Ramagundam Telangana is India's largest floating solar power company 2022 में. कोचिन इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट इज द वर्ल्ड का पहला सोलर पावर एयरपोर्ट है. बदला सोलर पावर राजस्थान में 2.25. पावागढ़ कर्नाटका में पूरे वर्ल्ड का सबसे ज़्यादा स्टैंड अलोन ऑपरेशनल सोलर प्लांट है. नूर. ओके. ड्राफ्ट गाइडलाइन टू प्रिवेंट द ग्रीन वॉशिंग. एडवर्टाइजिंग स्टैंडर्ड काउंसिल ऑफ इंडिया प्रपोज draft guidelines for the environmental and the green claims and advising to make the advertising free of greenwashing. Advertising Standard Council of India 1985 में बना था. ये सेल्फ रेगुलेटरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है by professional from the advising and the media to keep India as very decent, fair and honest. Greenwashing, also called as green sheen, is a deceptive practice of making misleading environmental claim. Environmental claim mainly suggest or create an impression that a product or a service has a neutral or the positive impact and is less damaging to the environment. It realizes different matters such as fibbing, make false claims such as net zero, green, ecological. तो fibbing हो रहा है, false claim. Vagueness, not specific about the process or the material used. Vagueness. The term was coined by the J. Westerweld in 1986. प्रपोज गाइडलाइन की बात करते हैं. एब्सोल्यूट क्लेम सच एज द इन्वायरमेंट फ्रेंडली, इको फ्रेंडली, सस्टेनेबल है, planet friendly है, must be a high level of substantiation. Environment claim must be based on the full life cycle of the advertised product or service. Certification and seals of approval should make clear which attributes of product service have been evaluated. Claims of the product being compostable, biodegradable, recyclable, non-toxic free should be based on the reliable scientific evidence. Other initiatives taken in India to check the greenwashing, SEBI's business responsibility and sustainable SEBI का business responsibility sustainability reporting norm. RBI announced to join global financial innovation networks greenwashing tech sprint. Global Financial Innovation Network. SEBI issued do's and don'ts into green bond. United Nations Convention to Combat Racism Data Dashboard. UN Convention to Combat Racification launches first ever data dashboard. It complies. Here is national reporting figures from 126 countries which show that the land degradation is advancing at an astonishing rate. हम जरा इसके बाद से करते हैं. ओके ये भी है तो इसको हम एक सेकंड में करते हैं. ओके थैंक यू.